Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Thomas Gallery. Today, we have one of the oddest skulls I've ever seen. I've never seen this skull before this particular image. This is the skull of a kangaroo. Believe it or not, this is the skull of a kangaroo. And more specifically, the red kangaroo, which I believe is the largest kangaroo. And the scientific name is Macropus rufus. And Macropus, from what I've learned, is usually the name designated for animals of the marsupial group. Now, for those who don't know what a marsupial is simply a mammal that has a pouch. How birds lay eggs and all that stuff, and other mammals they usually just give birth to their young live. Well, a marsupial is a mammal; it gives birth to live young, but the marsupial has a pouch, kind of like it's a form of shelter for the baby, for the offspring of that particular marsupial. You have marsupials like I think you have like there's a koala. It's a koala, like a wallaby, which is another form of kangaroo. It's a smaller kangaroo. Remember the cartoon Rocko's Modern Life? For those who are old enough to remember, there's a cartoon called Rocko's Modern Life, right? And does anybody remember what animal Rocko was? Rocko, for those who don't know, or those who are too young, most likely you weren't even born when this cartoon came out. It was like in the mid 90s, mid to late 90s, kind of. Rocko was a wallaby. I said wallaby is a different species of kangaroo. That's in the kangaroo family. And he had like an Australian accent and all that stuff. The show's called Rocko's Modern Life. And he had a dog named Spunky. Who remembers that? Who remembers the dog named Spunky? Yeah, Rocko's Modern Life. Rocko's Modern Life. And the Rocko used to always like freak out. Spunky! Stuff like that. Anyway. But yeah, a marsupial is an animal that has a pouch where its offspring can find shelter. Because in most cases, when the mother gives birth to their offspring, the only shelter they have could be like in the bushes and the grass and things like that, like to hide, or in the trees to hide from prey. But in the case of marsupials, like the kangaroo, when the baby is born live, like I said, still a mammal. The baby grows up in the pouch of the mother kangaroo until it's old enough to go on its own and stuff. But yeah, that's basically what a marsupial is. So animals that have like a pouch where their offspring can lay in is considered a marsupial. Now, here's a fun fact about kangaroos that some of you may not have known. Do you know that the kangaroo, the name itself, is not the correct name for the animal? Who knew that? Who knew that the name kangaroo that we know this animal as is not the correct name for this animal? And do you know how this particular animal got its name, the kangaroo? Well, for those who don't, allow me to tell you. Centuries ago, when Europeans came to the island known as Australia, which I'm pretty sure wasn't called that back then, but when they came to the island of Australia, They were fascinated by the animals that they saw because they had never seen animals such as the kangaroo or wallaby or like that where they're from. So what they did was they went to the native people there that we call the Aboriginal, which is Latin for from the original or from the beginning. They went to the native people there, and they asked them because when you go to a new land and you see things you never seen before, the first thing you really want to do is ask the people who live there. What is that? What is that? It's the same thing for anything else. Like if you see some food that you've never seen before, the first thing you do is ask the person who gave it to you, what is this? What do you call this? Because it's unknown to you. It's foreign to you, right? So the European people got to the island of Australia, and they seen this large animal, this very large animal hopping around, like it was jumping, and they had never seen an animal like that where they're from. Like there are no kangaroos in Europe, nowhere, unless you're talking about the zoo. Unless you're talking about the zoo there, kangaroos are not native to Europe. They're not native anywhere else on the world. They come from Australia. You'll most likely only find them in Australia unless they're part of a zoo, something like that. All right, so the Europeans are shocked by this. They're stunned. They can't believe what they're seeing. This large hopping animal, all that. So they ask a very simple question. They ask the native people, "What do you call this? Like, what is this? Like, I've never seen this before. What is this? What do you call this?" Right? So the response that the natives gave the Europeans when they asked that question was kangaroo. Kangaroo. They kept saying kangaroo because there's a language barrier. The Europeans that went to Australia believed that they could speak to the native people there, and the native people understand them, which shows arrogance in and of itself. But anyway, they asked them like, "What do you call this?" And the people responded, "Kangaroo." Kangaroo, like kangaroo. I'll give you an answer. Kangaroo. Now here's the problem. The word kangaroo. Does anybody know what the word kangaroo means? The word kangaroo, for those who don't know, literally means I do not understand you. Did y'all hear that? The word kangaroo is an Aboriginal word meaning I do not understand you. So, can anyone spot the problem in this? The Europeans who went to Australia, for whatever reason they went to Australia, saw these animals, asked the natives what the animal was. The natives said, I don't understand you. You know why? Because because the natives didn't speak English. The natives didn't speak English yet. They would eventually speak English through other means, but that's neither here. Well, that is here or there. So the natives would say, "I don't understand you. I don't know what you're saying. I know you're talking to me. I hear sounds. I hear words. These are words I'm not familiar with. I don't know these words. I don't know what you're trying to tell me. So I'm going to respond. I don't understand you. But instead of me saying I don't understand you, my word for I don't understand you is kangaroo. So with the arrogance of the Europeans, they thought the word kangaroo was the proper identifying name for that animal. Henceforth, that animal has now become known as a kangaroo. It is not the proper name of that animal. Now, actually, I looked up. They actually have a name for it. There is an actual Aboriginal name for that animal. Let me see if I can find it. Actually, hold on. Let me see if I can find the actual name that the original people would have called kangaroo. Yeah, so you can imagine like what in the world, like how you are so arrogant that you think that because you're speaking English to someone that they understand you. Like that's just crazy. Like oh they understand me. They speak English, so I'm gonna speak to them. Like no, I don't understand you, kangaroo, kangaroo, dude, kangaroo. Like my man, kangaroo. I don't understand what you're saying. Like you, what are you doing? That's crazy. That should be fine. Let's see. Oh, they got different names for the kangaroo too. I didn't know they had like different nicknames for it. All right, I had to pause for a minute. And it says here, said a common myth about kangaroo English name is that kangaroo was a goo googa Yemether phrase for I don't understand you. According to the legend, Cook, that's Captain Cook, one of the first people that actually came to one of the first Europeans, I'm sorry, to come to Australia. First Europeans to get there, and we know what happened after that. Let's see. Send you. Let's say ruse refers to ruse as in male kangaroos are called bucks, boomers. Bucks, boomers, jacks, old men. I remember hearing male kangaroos called old men. Not quite sure why it's called old men, but I've heard that name before referred to male kangaroos. I didn't know it was male kangaroos. I thought it was just name for just for kangaroos. It's because of how they walk or something. Like they walk with a like they like walk with a cane because a lot of times the kangaroo hops to travel, but they can use all four limbs to walk. It looks kind of odd since how um kangaroos most of their body is like all leg. They got some huge feet, which is which is where the scientific name comes from, like macropods. Like they're part of like macropods, which means large foot, macro large pod foot. They're called Macropus rufus. Don't know what the rufus part is for. Alright. I ain't gonna say the famous words yet, but I'm getting close. Oh, wait a minute. This is the oddest looking skull I think I've drawn. I've never seen the skull of a kangaroo before. Never seen one before, so this is quite unique to see. Like, this is how it looks. Quite the unique. All right. And here we go. Now I'm done. 24. Wait, yeah, okay. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching this video. Hope you learned a little something. Leave a comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Hit the little bell thing for notifications so you can know when these videos are coming up. I upload a video every day on this channel. But I also have another channel called C. Thomas Talks, where I upload once a week, once every Tuesday. You know, but every now and then I may feel need to drop a little extra, but mostly once a week. So check that page out. Check that channel out. I will catch you all later. Peace.